Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where I've done a couple of things in between episodes here, and I do want to put down a medical clinic right about here to help with this particular problem. But I also put down over here a road maintenance depot. I moved some of our pollution generating stuff from here back into here. And I also bulldozed a few of the abandoned buildings over in here. But the big thing that I did was I decided to try just how hard it would be to create this. And it wasn't that bad. Now, of course, there's no actual interchange there, and that is what could really get interesting. Like, I'm pretty sure that space already occupied? Yeah. That's gonna get exciting. We would have to go, like, from here and interchange to there. That space already occupied as well, but we could potentially take it up like this and then connect it in. So we would want to then probably straight line it. Oh, that slope too steep. That's actually too high. Okay. So then we'd want to bring this in. That gives space already occupied. So we'd want to bring this in about to here. And then straight line it. Or something like that. I mean, it works. It's not pretty. But I suppose it works. That gives slope too steep. We would be able to bring it to over here. And I'd like to use the curve tool for this. So we'd be able to bring it in over here-ish. Well, that's giving slope too steep. Even here. Which I guess, fair enough. I think we would need to terraform this area right here a little bit. Bring this back. Which is fine. I did do a little bit of terraforming to get this through here. So we'll go ahead and do this. And we'll see how that improves matters over here. I mean, we would need to swing it out a little bit this way. And that's giving slope too steep over here. This would work. And then that slope too steep. Yeah, I can see why that would be too steep. That is very steep indeed. So that would mean that we would need to bring this back a ways over here. And we're gonna run out of space for soil. But that should hopefully allow us to do this. Also, we might be able to rebuild this highway a little bit. But I expect that we can take this in over here, like straight out this way. And then I want to curve it over here. We may have to adjust the highway up over here. I think we will. So then we would need to bring this downward as much as we could to like here. And then connect it in up here. But we'd need to get rid of this section and connect it up with a straight line tool, like that. That will help. I don't know if that will make it possible to do what we need to do. Because, I mean, it's this side that we're going to have the issues with, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can take it... Oh, it wants to curve this way. I want it to curve the other way. Like this. I mean, that would go through a tunnel. That's not the end of the world. And we can bring it in like that. I mean, it's definitely a little awkward. But I think it does the trick. To some degree, anyway. Like, it kind of works. It almost kind of works, maybe, I should say. And I'm going to get that out of there. because I want to make sure that the pillars here are correct for what we need to do. And that's giving space already occupied, because I want it to be exactly right there. Now that slope too steep, and then space already occupied. And that's fair enough. Let's get rid of this here. Then we bring this in over here. Slope too steep is completely expected. I want a pillar right there. And now I want a pillar right here-ish. And then you can connect in like that. Excellent. And then we bring this over. We may have to go up a little bit. That's slope too steep. Yeah, let's go for a slightly smaller elevation step. Okay. We may need to bring this back a little further and bring this up a little bit more gradually. That's a bridge. I don't want that to be a bridge. That's a little awkward. But that'll do. Okay. And of course these pillars are going to be awkward. There's no doubt about that. But if we were to bring this out, we could curve it in just like this. That's actually very interesting that worked. Was that slope too steep? Yeah, that slope too steep. Fair enough. Let's bring this over this direction-ish. Like, we need to figure out a way to get this in. Let's make this direction. And I want to swing it out like so. So it would need to go over here. Which is certainly awkward. Even that slope too steep. So what we'd want to do probably is drop this section of highway over here down. So let's go ahead and do something along the lines of... It'll actually let us go all the way to ground level here. And then we need to just slowly get back up, like this. Kind of like that. So that way, hopefully, we can actually connect this in. Which, of course, we can't. Actually, we can. It's just a little awkward looking. Am I okay with that? Maybe. I mean, that looks a little bit better, but at the same time it doesn't. If we were to connect it in over here, that slope too steep, obviously. I mean, it works. It's not pretty. But it's better than I expected would be possible over there, if I'm honest. We're going to need another interchange over here, which probably means we're going to need to mess with this tunnel. So let's go ahead and jump down over here, get that out of there, and let's just smooth this terrain out. So realistically, this is leveling it. I just want to use the smooth terrain tool for right now. Yeah, too much soil. We're going to need to dump some of this soil, and I'm just going to dump it over here for right now. That actually poked out of the water. I didn't necessarily want that. Keep the water there. Thank you very much. Okay, there we go. We can go back and grab that soil later, if need be. And then I just want to smooth this on out, because this is exactly where we're going to need to be. So now we should be able to connect this in. And this highway is already on the ground, so we may have to do it... Actually, this is fine. This highway is already on the ground. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, or rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this would be a 960 block here. So essentially we would need to take a road over like a certain distance here, like this distance. this right here would be where that would be, which is exactly where this pillar is. So we can take this over here for now. I'm just going to build it there as a bit of a marker for this particular spot. And then we want this to connect up right here. So that's our space there for the interchange. Okay, is this actually the correct spot? This is actually. That's interesting. So we need to have a secondary highway over here, and this is going to be interesting with that kind of a height variance. Let's go ahead and take this out of here for now, and let's just see if we can level this area. So I'm just going to level it at, say, this height here. Not enough soil, so we'll go grab this soil over here that we deposited. There we go. And we'll just continue leveling it over here. And it should be something along the lines of that. We'll smooth this out over here. And of course, this is going to have to elevate. So we'll just start bringing this up, because I want to connect this up here. And actually, that kind of works. I don't want this bridge. So let's just connect this in without a bridge, ideally. Would need to be something like this, like this, like this. Okay. And then over here, I want this to be on the ground. Which, that works fine. Then, of course, we've got this slight issue over here, but we should be able to make that work with bridges. Okay, so where's our center point here? We don't actually have a center point in terms of this road, which is a little bit awkward. So let's see here. A 960 length halved would be 480. Yes. So that would be the center point there. And then we want this to run to there. Okay, so that marks our center point as being right here. And then with that, we can go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4 elevation steps up, right? Yes. Perfect. Exactly. Then we can get rid of this road. We no longer need it. And we can build this highway right here. Okay. Then I want to bring this out to, say, here. I don't really want it to drop off, though. So let's just have this out as far as we can over here. Except, I want to keep it relatively flat. To there. Okay. Now the same thing going this direction. Although that did drop off. And I do not want that. Come on, elevation. That's not correct. Okay. Something along the lines of that? I think even that's too low. Something more like this should be the correct height. And then we want it to be snapped in right here. Nope, even that dropped off. Okay. Let's do it this way. We're going to come in over here. And we'll have to flip the directionality of this, but that's okay. So let's get this height built up to this level. It's the level we want. Okay, now we'll flip that direction. And then the question is, hey, excellent, we can get away with that. So we just put in a turnaround there. Except I'm going to get rid of it for now. I just wanted to make sure that we could get away with it. And then let's just see if we can do something like this. Yeah, we absolutely can. Now this might be space already occupied over here. Yes, we've got a firehouse here that is going to have to go, or rather, going to have to be moved. And let's go ahead and move that, say, over here. Okay, so with that done, let's go ahead and take this over this direction. Something like that. And then we're going to need to take this highway further over here. And I want this, at the end of this, to be entering a tunnel. That slope too steep. So this would be right at the ground level. Yeah, it would. I want this to be pretty flat, though. So like this height. But let's just take it underground and have it be something along the lines of that. Should do the trick. And then we'll do the same thing over this way. So that did definitely elevate it a fair amount, but that's probably okay. I mean, it's going to have to get up to this height anyway. We're going to need to redo this section for sure. So let's go ahead and do this ramp over here, followed by this one over here. So it's a little bit squashed, but I think ultimately that's fine, given the rather extreme terrain we're working with. And then we just connect that in like that. Okay, so then we would bring this up over here, and we would need this area to flatten out at a particular height. The exact height doesn't matter. I'm just going to grab this height right here, and we're just going to flatten this like so. We created a bit of a terrace here. That's fine. I'm just going to smooth that a little bit, and I'm going to add in a little bit more ridge over here. Okay, that'll have to do. Yeah, that'll have to do. There's a slight height difference here, but when we bring them out over here, they should come out at the same height. So let's go ahead and work on these tunnels a little bit. I want to bring them out right here, and then we want to just drop it right there. So here's the thing. We are not going to be able to do these ramps with this where it's at. We are going to need to take this out, and we are going to need to move this line here, the ridge line. We're going to need to move this back slightly. So I'm going to go ahead and move this Firewatch Tower to be back here. And we're going to have to do a little work here. So we're going to need some soil. So we're going to take this back a little bit, and that's going to give us a lot of soil. There we go. And then let's just go ahead and recreate this ridge up here. Something like that. That looks relatively natural still. Less natural on this side, but that's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this out of here. And now we need to get these highways to the point where they are exiting. Right there will be fine. Yeah, that should be perfectly fine. And I want this to connect in over here. Okay. I mean, it's a little awkward, but it should be fine. It doesn't affect the ridgeline from this side, so I think we're good. Now over here, I want to go ahead and get rid of these sections of highway, and I want to redo these. These need to be on the ground, right? By this point. So let's just place them on the ground, and then we'll reconnect over here. And then same thing over here. I want this to be on the ground, but that's actually giving us slope too steep, which is weird. We can actually connect in here, but I think that means that we just need to bring this up over this way a little bit, and then we'll just connect it in like that. And then we'll go to here, to here, to here. Okay, now I don't really like this bump that it created, so I'm going to get rid of that. There, something along those lines should be fine. And then that would mean that this highway is the one that needs to be elevated up. So we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4 elevation steps. It's giving space already occupied here. Fair enough. Let's bring this up just like, say, here? I think that's okay. And then we'll drop a pillar there. And then I want this to remain... Do I want this to remain relatively flat? I mean, we're going to need this highway to go downhill quite a bit. But maybe it remains flat here. And then starts going downhill over here. Oh, this is elevated really high. We are never getting any off-ramps off of that. I think our best bet might be to take out this section of road and smooth this out a little bit. I mean, we don't have enough soil, but from there we can see just how that affects things. We're still never getting an off-ramp on that. So that's a thing. I think for now I'm going to get that out of there, and we'll deal with that in a bit. So let's just go ahead and do the same thing over here. We want to take this up 1, 2, 3, 4 elevation steps, and then we want this to be even in terms of height, which is that right there. Of course, this is going the wrong way, so we'll need to turn this around. There we go. And now we should, in theory, be able to, with no problems, create ourselves our interchange here. It'll be a little squashed again, but this is fine. We want it to be here, connecting in over here. That space already occupied. Interesting. What if we were to connect it in over here? Huh. Why is that giving space already occupied? That's not. Okay, now it's working. Whatever. I'll take it. So, in both cases here, we're going to need to go downhill, but in this case it's going to be a little bit easier, because we're nowhere near as steep. We can just go like this, and we should be able to do off-ramps in many of these cases. So I think we just then take this over here and go right on back uphill, although we're going to need to go uphill a little steeper on this side, right? Yeah, it'll just need to be slightly more steep. So we'll get that turned around. There we go. Okay, that should be fine. And then we'll just try to do some on-ramps over here on that slope too steep, but we can swing it out to here. Off. Slope too steep, but we should be able to swing it out, I think. I mean, it's definitely going to be further, right? We could do that, although that's a little disgusting. This should be an off-ramp, and we'll do it right there. And yeah, you can see this goes up steeper. So I'm thinking right now, maybe what we should do... Make it steeper over here? Well... I don't know about that. I mean, we could try to swing this out further. Alternately, we could not. I mean, this is a possibility. It would be disgusting looking. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And I don't know what our grid is going to look like here just yet. Let's see here. So it would be 480. So it would be like right here, I think. We'd need to run grids all the way through to really know. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think we can maybe get away with doing this slightly differently. So I would want this to be over here, 4 elevation steps up, and then on this side we'd bring it up a little bit. So it would be more like that, a bit more smooth of an incline. That's not going to help our slope too steep over here, but what if we were to run it all the way from over here? I mean, that would work. It would also be weird. The other option, of course, is we would just elevate this side over here a little bit. And I think that's the better option. So we would need to go get some soil. Where's our soil dump at? Over here. And I've kind of made a bit of a hole. Let's just level this. There we go. That'll work a little better, I think. So we now have soil. And then we would want to level this out at about this height. So let's just add in some soil over here. And let's see if that adds enough height. It may. I mean, it didn't. So we're going to need additional height over here, which is kind of to be expected. So let's go for, say, this height here. Okay, and then we'll just run the road over. Space already occupied. Yeah, because we're going to need to take this bit of highway out. And then run this in. Probably should redo this section of road as well, just so that we have the new height. That's giving slope too steep over here. So let's just run this into, say, here. Space already occupied with that pillar. Oof. And then run that about like that would be what we'd be going for. Then we need to bring this highway over here to, say, right here. And then this highway would come in over this way, kind of like that. And I think now we can probably get away with our off-ramp. Can we do a turnaround there? Yes, we can. Or rather, our on-ramp. That slope too steep, but that works. And yeah, that should be fine. Of course, we do need to redo our off-ramp here, and there's a pillar issue, because of course there is. So let's take this over here, and take a quick look at where that pillar is going to be. I think that will be okay. No, that will not be okay. So let's put in a pillar right here. But we're going to need to elevate this a little. Like that. And then we should be able to run this. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so that actually kind of works. And then we're going to need to figure out what's going to happen over here. That's going to be really weird. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.